Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, welcome to Surviving the Abyss, a rather fascinating hybrid game that blends a city builder with our horror game, because yes indeed, as you may have guessed, we're not exactly building a nice city in a lovely open field. No, we're under the sea, like really under the sea, down where it is dark and it is cold, and there might just be something hiding in the darkness, because every trailer to this game makes one thing absolutely clear, and that is your key overriding objective is do not let the lights go out. I do not know what happens if the lights go out, so how about we just dive in and very much keep the lights on. So, welcome to our tiny patch of heaven. This is our lovely ocean base, and yes indeed, it produces a tiny bit of light, a lovely radius around the base, and we can only work, live, move, everything inside the light. As for what's going on in the darkness, I don't know. I'm just going to leave the darkness alone, and the darkness is hopefully going to leave me alone right back. And as you can see up in the top left there, we're dealing with two different kinds of residents, if you will. Number one, we've got submarines, who handle building, mining, etc. They can bumble around underwater and do the heavy lifting. And inside the base, we've got humans, who unfortunately can't bumble around underwater. They need things like oxygen and food to not die, the fussy plebs. So, let's just get both of those guys to work, because, yes indeed, just turn on the resource lens, and we can see some stuff we might be able to, scavenge. Concrete and steel, very good early game resources, so yeah, this patch down over here, that'd be a good place to send my little lovely robot. So, okay, building, mining relay, here we go. Anything inside the radius of this relay, my lovely mining drones will be able to go and grab. So, slap you down right over there, buddy. You activate, assign all submarines to this relay, and my mining submarines jump into action. They'll take that over to, yes, my storage stockpile. Life is good. And as for my humans, they're going to be needing some food. Right now we've got some stockpiles, but that's not going to last. Oh, well, this is just perfect. A carbohydrate farm. So producing a low-quality carbohydrate food under UV light. Sounds delicious to me. Let's get that in production. And as soon as we slap that down, yes, indeed, my construction guys go and grab the relevant materials from the stockpile, bring it over here, build it, etc, etc. All nice and simple so far, but yes, the fire at the bottom of the ocean is going to create some small problems going forwards. Here we go. Problems, and more bloody problems. My carbohydrate farm needs power, it needs oxygen, and it needs a way for its workers to get to it. Because, yes indeed, they can't manage even the slightest swim. So we're going to be needing to build a smaller power line to hook you into the network. We're going to be building a small tunnel linking this together. And there we go. That should now provide you with oxygen, power, and access to workers. Beautiful. The whole thing starts working, generating a low-quality food, though, okay, we shouldn't call it low-quality food. We're going to be eating this within a week or so, when the good stuff we brought with us runs out. So how about rustic homegrown food? That sounds better. And my starting base provides a tiny amount of power and oxygen to kick us off, enough to power this farm. But yeah, we're already almost at capacity. As a result, we have some coal. There's more coal just sitting on the seafloor over there. Let's get ourselves a beautiful coal generator. And as that is apparently going to, yes, slightly knacker the air quality, let's also slap down an oxygen generator, given, yes, we're going to be needing more oxygen soon, and that's also going to make the air much nicer to breathe. Okay, coal generator is online. Let's just make sure that is, yes, properly hooked into the network right over there. And speaking of which, extend the network to the oxygen plant. That's going to need some of that power immediately. Though, yes, problem number two, we don't have sustainable coal. We've got enough coal just chilling out here for the time being, but that's not going to last us. We're going to run out of stuff to just scavenge pretty bloody soon. So, as much as it pains me to admit it, we're going to have to figure out what's going on in the darkness. And what I do quite enjoy, by the way, is you don't do that by just going out into the darkness with flashlights or anything. No, you have to do this in an entirely way more creepy way, which is you need to build a nice, like, radar, sonar, whatever station, and just sort of scan the darkness and try and roughly estimate what's going to be inside it. So here we go, sonar tower is up and it's got a pretty good radius. I can now scan into the darkness to figure out what might be there. So fuel, so coal, oil, etc. Resources, steel, concrete, anything that's just fallen to the bottom of the ocean we might be able to pick up. Point of interest, sounds good, could be Cthulhu, or habitats, creatures, which we need for various reasons. We'll get back to that in a second. For the time being, just find a good place to scan, and here we go. Let's just do a lovely big ping in just a moment. And there we go. We're going to locate coal. Okay, there is some coal located to the south. May as well also do a lovely little, scan for resources. Check if this is a good direction to expand out into. Okay, we got some scrap steel, so we can scavenge a bit more steel, which is good, because steel we need for most buildings, we're already running low. So what we need to do is send my construction robots out into the darkness in order to set up a new area of light. So these are the only guys allowed to go out into the darkness. Whether you really ought to send them out into the darkness, don't know. Seems like it might potentially be a bit of a bad idea to me. I'm really sorry about this, buddy. You might be about to get eaten by, like, a monster from the bottom of the ocean. It's entirely possible. If so, I'm really bloody sorry. So, just hook you into the grid as well. Yeah, power lines just get put down automatically. 6 steel gets you over to here. So yeah, expanding eats a lot of steel insofar as you need to hook it into the grid because it needs power. Light towers eat a lot of bloody power. And if you run out of power, they might just turn off. And then bad things definitely happen. The trailer was, as I say, very clear on this point. Oh, here we go. Light tower is activated and... okay, not what I was expecting, because I didn't bother to actually, properly scan or anything, but we do also have habitats in this area. So, okay, I should maybe scan a bit more thoroughly in future, but, yes, we have now got rosefish together with John Dory. So, okay, we have got multiple useful fish, and we're not too far away from iron ore deposits. Okay. Unfortunately, my robots can't just go and pick that up. We need an actual, proper dedicated piece of machinery to handle that. So, I do start off with a handful of research points. So, I hang about here. Coal extractor. Beautiful. So, yeah, spend the research data I start with unlocking that. Henceforth, we'll need to, yes, do some research to unlock more. So, okay, now that's in place. Get a coal extractor out right about here. Flip you around, and yes, the blue lines represent, tunnel access, if you will. So you guys get over to there. The problem is, this is going to need oxygen, meaning, okay, there's going to be a very bloody long walk down to the coal extractor. Sorry about that to anybody who has to commute out to this thing. But I believe tunnels are free, right? So if I just put that down... yes, I think tunnels are just free. They just get to be free. That's a-okay. Though, did have to kind of, go slightly around to my own sonar tower there. Sorry about that. Okay, so coal's now going to be coming in en masse, and on top of that, power's already getting low. So let's get another coal generator down right next to the original one. And there we go. 2 generators, a functionally infinite amount of coal now coming in, meaning power is okay for the time being. But you may notice the rather interesting thing about this game, which is I'm already out of workers. Alright, started off with a nice number of workers who are unemployed. They've all got jobs now. Everybody is fully occupied. Except I haven't built a basic research lab yet, and we're supposed to have a couple of people working in that thing. The fact we've now got 2 coal generators to only 1 oxygen pump means probably someone's going to get fussy about oxygen quality at some point or another. So we might need another oxygen generator. That's more employees too. So you might be wondering, John, where do people come from? Do they come down in lovely submarines to join your society because it's doing so well? No, yes, may have slightly skimmed over this earlier. So, the reason we're under the ocean isn't because we thought it would be a good idea to build a city under the ocean. It isn't. As we've established, Cthulhu's floating around somewhere. No, the reason we're here is to do evil science. The backstory of this game being that once upon a time we did evil science up on the surface, but people didn't like that because the science was too evil. So then the military said, okay, we won't do evil science anymore, and actually they had their fingers crossed behind their backs and just started doing the evil science when nobody could see it at the bottom of the ocean. So yes, we are on an evil science black site, meaning for the most part, what we need to do is grow new people, because the evil science in question was cloning, which doesn't sound too evil, I'll give you, but yes, the slight twist is, and why we're so interested in various fish habitats dotted around the ocean is, yes, the military didn't think cloning was exciting enough or evil enough by itself. Instead, they sat down and said, what happens if we were to cross a human with a fish? Alright, would we maybe create a super soldier? I'm not sure how they come to that conclusion, but that's the conclusion they came to, and that's what I'm here to figure out. So, if I want more workers to, man my power plants or whatever, I need to clone a race of hybrid fishmen to help me do it. And by the looks of it, yes, I should just have enough power and whatnot to make it happen immediately. So, okay, step one, we need genetic samples to crossbreed into humans. So we could create, yes, rosefish hybrids or John Dory hybrids. And it's got to be the John Dory hybrids, alright? Because then, if we create people, we can call them John. It'll just, really raise spirits. It'll be a fun joke, damn it. And yes, I would say we ought to keep the cloning lab maybe away from all the rest of it. Like, say, yeah, we can have all sorts of power infrastructure over here. We can have the civilian infrastructure over on this side. And the secret black site science wing can be down over here. Lovely. So, the cloning lab is complete, but this is where we have to start making decisions about who works where, because, yes, there are not enough people to go round. At least, until we start cloning them, which is why we decided to get to this pretty early on. Now, we've got spare power in the system for the time being, so one coal generator worker can instead work in the cloning lab. Beautiful. Because apparently, yes, cloning is simple enough that anybody can just be redirected to go and do that instead. Alright, just go in, look for the big red button that's marked clone, hit that button. Job done. And as a small interim, yes, the food stability mission, they are willing to send down 4 additional crew members as long as I've got, yes, some housing for them. So, okay, you fussy plebs, let's get you some housing while we're just setting up the cloning program. There we go, 2 new habitats set up, 4 new crew members arrive. We got plenty of food for the time being, though. Oh. Do those guys need to, breathe? Okay, keep an eye on that. We might need to build another, oxygen thing at some point or another. Oh, you know what? That is true. We need a research lab, and we do have one person sitting around not doing anything right now. So, okay, now that can definitely be attached to the secret evil cloning lab, alright? That is very appropriate. Okay, meanwhile, down south, yes, we've caught a couple of rosefish. That's all absolutely fine. Problem is, yes, the John Dories, they need bait. So I could put the rosefish into that plate in order to, catch some better fish. But no. No. Let's just start mixing rosefish with people. Probably this might go better if we had, a scientist doing this. But no, we've just got Steve from the power plant. But he's doing his best, damn it. So, cloning in progress, we'll just, check in how those guys are doing later. And in the meantime, let's start, yes, scanning around in order to try and find some better, nearer, more convenient iron. Oh, and here we flipping go, we have created our first human fish hybrids. We've named him Gerard Hagen. He stepped out of the tube healthier than everybody else, but okay. There are certain small issues with clones, which is we're not very good at cloning yet. So the people who came from above and whatnot, they functionally live forever. They've got normal human lifespans. They'll live for decades and decades and decades. Gerard, not so much. His lifespan is 57. Not sure 57 what, presumably days. So maybe don't tell him that. I feel like, that'd be bad for morale. Oh, I did miss, by the way, apparently Gerard was attempt number 2. Attempt number 1 didn't go so well, so let's not worry about that. Okay, Gerard was fine, but let's say for the sake of argument that, yes, we're curious whether we might be able to do better. Again, don't tell Gerard any of this, he might not react well. So we're going to take the rosefish, use them as bait to capture John Dory, and the next generation of clones is going to be made out of, oh yeah, there we go. We could compare John Dory DNA to rosefish DNA, or possibly... Oh, no, I think we're just mixing all of them together. Oh, that's even better. Okay, the problem is we're currently, yes, draining these habitats dry. Eventually they're going to run out, and we don't want them to run out because this is our only source of genetic material. So, how about, yes indeed, slap down the old marine stabilizer. I say this, okay, we need to seriously get working on, yeah, not just cloning fish people, but instead, you know, figuring out how we're going to produce our own steel and concrete and whatnot, because we're almost out of that. Oh, and here's where the Nightmare Dystopia Rapture Cloning City kicks off. So, Gerard's about to perform an experiment on himself. He wishes to clone himself to remove genetic mutations afflicting him. Which isn't actually how cloning works, like... Potentially he might create a new, better Gerard V2. That one could be less of a terrifying fish monster, but Gerard will still be as Gerard is, unless he just wants to create a clone to create, like, parts that we then insert into him. But I'm going to be honest, given how the cloning's going, I would not suggest organ transplantation is within our capabilities right now. Screw it! Let him do it! Let's see what happens to old Gerard. The test subject appears to have been mostly successful, the clone is free of mutation, but Gerard is gone. So okay, that was his intention. He just wants to make a better Gerard. So let's all have a nice round of applause to welcome Gerard 2 into the base. This has all been very successful. Yep, there he is. There's Gerard 2 right there. In fact, now... oh, flip me. He gets to live forever. Okay, this has been a huge success. In fact, you know what, Gerard? You're getting a promotion. No more coal extracting for you. You get to work in marine stabilization, which, to me, sounds more interesting. So, you just get on that. Your job is to now, like, I don't know, like, feed the fish, or something that makes more fish appear in the fish habitats. Okay, the scans have revealed significant iron over to this direction and significant concrete over here. So, I would say, yeah, we need both of those. How wide is the radius on the old light towers? Which we could just afford. Though, hang on, that is... ooh, quartz! We also need glass from somewhere. Though I'm pretty sure we're scavenging some from over here. Okay, here we go. Alloy furnace. That's what we need to make steel. But to build that, we need concrete. So, okay, step one, that's where we need to kick off. Go over to resource lens. Yeah, there we go. This is what we want. Giant piles of concrete. So just slap down a lovely mining relay right here. There's not too much going on up here, but that's fine. We don't need too much to be going on up here. Instead, just say, yes, hang about. Where's the relay for this? Turn off, say, yeah, one of you... and send him instead up to here. So that guarantees one drone will be working exclusively on concrete gathering, which is important. We need that. Also, apparently somebody died. Oh, yes, the first clone who cloned himself. Okay, well, I mean, yes, he did die. That's true. But he did also literally replace himself with himself. So I feel like, okay, we're getting into slightly more complicated moral questions here. Oh, and the game's starting to imply I ought to be expanding out of my lovely, safe, Subnautica-style shallow reef. So, okay, go into biome lens. This is the seagrass dunes. Here's the reefs over here. Then the dark glows. Emanating from the black depths of the abyss, the dark glows seem to swallow all light. So, that's where we don't go. Oh, I tell you what, we're getting good at this whole cloning thing. Alright, we've now got Matt. Welcome to the team, though he's going to die in like 46 days. So, you know, not ideal, but still, it's an extra person we've got. And oh, okay, the clones are also demanding they get, you know, housing as well as food. Fussy bloody plebs. Oh, slight issue. I've built too much power, and we're burning too much coal, and, yes, apparently we're, like, you know, pumping it into the rest of the station, or something. So, okay, This is fine. We can fix this with technology. Basic air purifier. That is going to do, yeah, way more for the oxygen than just another oxygen pump will. Though, to be honest, do I need more oxygen anyway? Like, I'm going to sooner or later. I kind of may as well just, yeah, build another oxygen thing. That's probably the safer option for the time being. I am about to build an alloy furnace, and apparently that's going to be bad for the air as well. Okay, maybe one air purification thing. Okay, I've expanded over in this direction because, yes, we did need access to small iron deposits. But I've discovered a couple of interesting things too. Number one, spider crabs. Now, okay, if there was one creature that I think you could reasonably splice into a human to create a super soldier, oh yeah, a spider crab, that has got to be the right option. And on top of that, sea mines. Now that seems worse, like they seem explosive. But if I want to figure out what's going on there, I need to send an exploration sub out. So, okay, we're getting into exploring the wider world now, and to do that, I'm going to need to build a sub factory. That's going to need a lot of steel, so okay. I think I know the right order of play here. Number one, let's just get, yes, some beautiful... Oh, research. Research is done, so in which case... Basic air purifier, let's get that ready to go. It turns out that needs aluminium. Okay, never mind, just build more oxygen. We're going to need more oxygen sooner or later, and it pleases me to have a complete circle of oxygen right here. Okay, that should be plenty of air purification. So it's time to crack out the proper heavy industry. Alright, this is going to be lovely. Okay, slight issue we've got here, which is, we've now got bad air levels. Like, not dangerous, just unsafe. Which kind of feels like the same thing to me, but okay. We can't just keep putting up more and more bloody oxygen. Okay, we can't build purifiers. We haven't expanded enough to get the aluminium. You know what? We're just going to temporarily disable the alloy furnace. We'll turn it back on when we desperately need to have steel. Okay, but day to day, we don't keep it on because otherwise everybody chokes to death. Okay, bare minimum, submarine factories, that's fine in terms of air quality. Okay, that's going to be a-okay. So let's get that in production instead. And oh, that's nice. That can plug right onto the end of my power plants. I love it. Begin constructing a beautiful exploration submarine, so we can go figure out that these mines are mines, and then possibly beyond that, yes, can't help but notice there was the terrifying, wait, what, hang on, what's going on, why are you sounding alarms at me? We've got enough fuel for 3 days, it's fine, everything's under control, I can just put more people in the coal production. Okay, it turns out I can't put more people in coal production, we're already maxed out on coal production. Okay, I understand why you're ringing the sirens at me, fine. Right, activate resource lenses. We do have... that's coal right there, isn't it? Okay, there's coal right there. Is that, like, in range of anything? Yes, there is actually coal in range. So, okay, somebody just focus exclusively on gathering coal. Okay, it's going to be fine. Everything's under control, aside from... No, seriously, I don't need this much red light, alright? You are stressing me out right now, game. Okay, I've also just realised we are down to critically low levels of steel salvage, meaning we've basically got... Yes, I'm aware this is still a problem. I've got no choice but to reactivate the alloy furnace, okay? And that means we need to transfer someone out of... I was about to say out of food production. We've got 1 day's worth of food and no additional farmers, apparently. Hang on, John, as soon as you're done with, yes, the submarine factory... Oh, blimey. We've got an exploration submarine. Well, okay. Send my exploration sub to... That also needs crew. Brilliant. Here we go. Matt. Matt goes in the submarine, and now it's 100% chance to succeed. So, okay. Send Matt. Admittedly, we might have just... Oh. Did I just take someone out of, yes, a power plant who desperately needed to be doing power? I mean, I'd just stay in that submarine, to be honest. Like, the base is clearly about to explode, given the colour scheme we've gone for. So, I'd just stay there, that's fine. Also, maybe, like, slow down. I'd definitely slow down, that's You just ran straight into the mine, you dick. Do we have the capacity to disarm these mines? If we succeed, plenty of steel. Oh, yep, do it. We need the steel. Okay, with steel production back up and... Oh, blimey. Okay, well, we picked up some steel from somewhere, presumably... Oh, okay, so we succeeded. That's a temporary light source. That's what the clock is. We're not waiting to see whether we succeeded or not. We did succeed. Matt didn't mess everything up. Brilliant. So, okay, that's all fine. We've now got some steel. Turn this building off for the time being because, okay, that sorts out air quality. We still have issues with, food, which is we're about to run out of said food, like, completely. And coal! Coal is still about to run out, and without coal, the power goes out, and I do not have any other sources of coal. Unfortunately, Matt, you're a victim of your own success, because having proved you're capable of... oh dear. If I send Matt into the dark glows by himself, into the dark, he's only got a 17% chance of succeeding. But if I send more people, they theoretically might explode. Okay, I appreciate, Matt, this might be a one-way trip, but I would like to know what's going on in, you know, the dark glows. You know what? I'm going to assume everything's fine, and Matt's going to be fine as he goes out into the darkness by himself, and I should definitely have built maybe more light on the way, because now Matt's just going out into the darkness. That's just kelp. It's not going to kill him. Probably. I think we're going through the kelp forest. That's just biome lens here. He's leaving the nice safe area. He's going to pass through the kelp forest and then... Not 100% sure what killed Matt. I think it was just Matt didn't know how to use the submarine. So water got in. He didn't realise that was bad. So bloody hell, Matt. Okay, so... Remember how we said right at the beginning, the crucial thing above anything else was do not let the lights go out. Well, the soundtrack seems to be getting a bit more screamy. The coal seems to have basically run out. We've got... Oh! Matt's back! Okay, we just cloned a new Matt. I wouldn't have bothered. He was bloody useless. The lights are going out. The lights are now officially going out. Have we lost? Okay, they've still got lights, but several lights have now deactivated. Oxygen is also... We've lost oxygen. Power is not sufficient to support oxygen anymore. I feel like things may have just spiraled. 22 crew are hungry. That is not their biggest problem right now. Okay, 3 crew are now working in darkness next to, yes, our lovely, lovely source of fish. And as a result of that... Crew in darkness for several days will develop vitamin D deficiency. I'm gonna be honest, that's a less severe problem than the trailer was implying.
Keep your crew safe. And always remember, darkness means danger. Do not turn off the light.
Okay, I feel, regardless of the Cthulhu versus vitamin D deficiency discussion, yes, this society has pretty much entirely failed. So, this here is surviving the abyss. I failed to survive the abyss in many, many ways. Many people are, yep, malnourishment is starting to sneak in right there. Lack of oxygen will probably become a problem pretty bloody soon as well. Yes, it is a rather hardcore survival city builder with some definite creepy vibes going on. So, okay, I might spend a bit of time trying to figure out precisely how I got it this bloody wrong, and when I do, I'll keep an eye on this one, because it is a game that's only just launched into early access, so I suspect this game has got a lot of changing, growing, etc. to do yet. So, alright, I'll keep my eyes open, see how it evolves over time. Maybe we will see it again in future, and maybe I will do slightly less terribly. We shall flipping see. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Surviving the Abyss. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Jebediah Kerman has not exploded. Oh shit. Why did that happen? 5, 4, 3... Oh, I forgot to turn the thrust on. 5, 4... Is everything else... How is everything... Up to that point, that was going better than anyone expected.